In ancient times, before there was any writing system, wise people would put their realizations in the form of songs and poetry because they were easier to remember. And this is something that I've tried to do or felt desire to do and have actually done all my life. Whenever I have some kind of intense experience that leads to some kind of realization, or that I want to kind of capture it more strongly, I try to put it into a poem, or at least write it in a way that has some rhythm and rhyme or some kind of sonic beauty about it. And that helps me capture the feeling more strongly, remember it, and get some deep value out of it. I also go back regularly and look at my writings, and I found that I don't tend to look at the ones that aren't in the form of poetry and song, but I do enjoy going back and trying to maybe shape a little more, tweak the poetry and the language and the rhythm and the beauty. And recently, something came into my mind in the form of a poem, and it goes like this. I may be weak, I may be confused, but God is still God, and I still love him. And for me, it was a process of shifting my feelings about myself to something healing, right? We all have our ups and downs. We all do things we wish we hadn't done. We all have our weaknesses, and some of those weaknesses we have to struggle with for our entire lives. And that struggle can get depressing. And it's easy to focus on that and get lost in that and allow that to bring you down. But even while those weaknesses are still there, we're still on our journey. You know, we're at a certain stage in our journey where we have certain problems and weaknesses that we'll be fighting with, maybe for this particular incarnation. But we're on that journey, that eternal, transcendent, infinite reality, that loving presence of the divine is always there despite our weaknesses, right? And however many defects we may have, we still have this innate love for God, love for the divine. And that's a cause for hope. The fact that this divine presence is always there, no matter what kind of stupid mistake you do. And the fact that you still love that divine presence, you know, the presence of this all-powerful entity, and you're in love with that, you love it, and despite your mistakes. So that's a reason for reassurance and comfort, even though we may be making mistakes. So I may be weak, I may be confused, but God is still God, and I still love him. Namaskar.